आ जाओ।
Hello.
Hi, good evening, Dr. Sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I thought today we can see all of each other.
Morning.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Once
Good evening, Indra ji.
Mr. Babu, you
Today,
connect that
Good evening.
links. Good evening. I sent those links, previous presentations. You got
Okay.
it?
No, I will check that, sir.
Very good evening, friends.
good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Sayyed.
Yeah. Dr. Indramani, today we have put the regular viewers into panelists so they
Yeah.
can see each other's face. And today there's going to be some question and answer also. It may be easier we try with this.
Yeah.
So that's we see a lot of people. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Vijay. Doesn't speak much, but the person behind,
Somebody's mic is giving problem. If
Ah.
that person's somebody's mic, only one person's mic. Dr. Bora is in. Welcome. Viswanathan.
Ah, नमस्कार नमस्कार
नमस्कार, कैसे है?
हम बिल्कुल ठीक हैं।
Good evening to all.
Hi, Viswanathan. Good evening. Good evening. Dr. Viswanathan, there are 2-3 minutes. Please share something from your side.
What, sir?
Just share your views. How
Yes,
it's going and what
it
needs
is,
to be added.
it's our webinar is going very well, and this lockdown, we have complete lockdown for the
Yeah.
past 2 days, and for 2 more days we'll have complete lockdown. No shops, no movement outside in any vehicles. Only people can go walk to only nearby places. So maybe in 1 or 2 days we will know what is the announcement by the government, whether they will relax to a certain extent or they will continue the lockdown. Very serious condition.
We are not worried about lockdown, but we are worried that we should come out of this problem.
So this is the problem.
Because lockdown relaxations, I feel that lockdown relaxations are under pressure only. So
It is under
Yeah,
control.
today-
that is the challenge.
Okay. Today's speakers have joined, both the speakers. Professor Gajan Singh also has joined.
Should we start?
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Yes. I think, give me a second. Give me a minute to check it up. Just a minute. You go ahead, please.
Good evening.
Sir, good evening.
Dr. Gajan Singh, good evening.
Good evening,
Yes,
Professor Gajan Singh.
Good evening, sir.
I think Singh sir is muted.
Oh, you can speak. Dr. Gajan Singh, your mic is never muted. You can anytime.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I don't have. Okay. You mean I have to stay awake all the time? Huh?
Yes, your mic is never muted from here. Guaranteed.
Good morning, Babu,
Good morning, sir.
or good evening for you.
I'm in India only.
Mr. Singh, I have seen that email which you have written to Barua. So we will take
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yeah.
The Vice Chancellor is enthusiastic, so I think if we people can put it together, I can get it done through Dr. Jain.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Actually, I will share with him the document which is prepared for VHU. They can modify according to their need and program if required.
Yeah. If I put Ganesh,
Then ISA can write and approach even Vice Chancellor, whatever is needed.
yeah. Okay.
Singh sir, I talked to him yesterday after your mail and we discussed about the strategy, how to go
To
forward.
Devin Barua?
Devan Borua, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Good. No, I saw
I
your
told
mail,
him-
very encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I talked to him also immediately
Good.
after that.
Yeah.
So we can definitely put the matter forward, ball rolling, and hopefully very soon.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Indramani, I think we can start probably.
Okay. So, Professor Singh and friends, welcome to this webinar, 9th day, successful day. I was told yesterday that 1,004 people joined on Facebook. Means it has become Facebook friends, and many on Zoom. So it's going well. It's really, in real sense, a virtual university where teachers and students and learners all, all from, whole of the globe, they are joining, and it's a really, many things we are learning also that, which we will start, which will include in our future program of webinar, and the webinar is going to be an important tool for learning now, even post COVID-19. So once again, welcome. Today's program is that we will start with Dr. Syed, the technical session, and he will conclude this training aspect today and initiate application of this electronics in real agriculture. He will introduce, and tomorrow much more emphasis on question answer and application in agriculture. We will take it up. Today we have lab. One speaker from Washington State University, and then we have Dr. Nachiket Kotwaliwale. He is from CIA, and he will speak on image processing. It's another very important area. So with this, I request Dr. Syed to start today's session, and we will follow the timeline which we have discussed already. Dr. Syed, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. I think we have come a long way. I think it's the 7th technical session. I think when I made this syllabus before 8 months, I thought it will take about 35 hours. Okay. And we have covered about 20%. That is the 80-20 rule. So 20% of the time, we try to achieve 80% of our interest to go through. That means to make you interested in electronics and embedded to learn more. And I think that we are achieving. So Setu, today's presentation. Setu, please. I will go through fast yesterday one. So we talked about yesterday connectivity and protocols. Next slide. We thought about 4 to 20 milliamperes. This is where you get all your agricultural sensors. So they are quite reliable. You go for a long distance. Next one. Next slide, please. You can go up to 5 kilometers. Then we talked about UART. There's RS-232, which is for short distance. A few meters we can use from your sensor, whatever it is, local. For example, maybe you must be able to use in a poly house probably, but not more than 100 meters. It will be difficult. Next one, please. Then we have RS-485, which is actually RS-232. From there, converted to 2-line balanced transmission, which works on master-slave principle. You have one master, and he can talk to each one of the slaves. So that way, his communication is done. It's excellent for agricultural wiring. Anything you want to do with wires, this is excellent. For example, in a poly house, you can use it, and they are quite reliable. They are quite reliable. They have been tested for a very long time. I'm using them from 1980s when it started on the field, agriculture field, where you have even ground radar problem near the airports and all. Next slide, please. You have that Ethernet, which we all use daily. We know it. So we can also use them because they are slightly expensive to make from embedded, but it's very convenient because collision free. They are all isolated. So this is good. Next one. We talked about CAN. That's a control area network, which is used in machinery, in cars and your automobile industry completely. They also use CAN, and tractors are using CAN, and they follow in the CAN a protocol. Today we'll learn about protocol. There's something called J1939, but the physical standard of 2 wires communicating data, similar to RS-485, CAN is very close to it. So we are using on tractors standard about 250 kbps. In cars, we use sometimes 500 kbps and 1000 kbps. But J1939 protocol is 250 kbps. Next one, please. Now we talked about RFID, which are used in very useful in agricultural applications. This is the only one probably electronics came into livestock management probably 40 years back. Still, they are being used for monitoring the feeding, controlling feeding, and milking. Next slide, please. We talked about Even satellite communication can be used in agriculture. They are not very expensive. Let's not, where you want to have a data only twice, thrice in a day. I think they are very ideal, and I think people have to consider it. Next slide, please. For example, we have a ARPCOM exposure, very less in southern India or Bayonne, Bombay. North India, very less is there. But Iridium and Inmarsat, we have very good connectivity throughout. So who are looking for some remote locations, what do you want? Not only agriculture, whatever other purpose. I think this is one of the easier solutions to develop. It is not very difficult to work with the satellite antenna and the design considerations. You have to be careful, but I think it is possible. So I want agriculture engineers to remember this. Next one, please. Then we talked about different technology available. We talked about Wi-Fi in wireless technology. Bluetooth we have. BLE, Bluetooth low energy, is very good for short distance communication. Sensors, you want to have it. And we have, for example, for warehouses, the moisture measurement, temperature measurement, they're all very good actually. You can use ISM band, low cost, or you can use a Bluetooth. Nowadays is quite cheap. And then we have also other technology like Zigbee, which are a bit complicated, but you can use for a mesh network where you really require. But nowadays it is getting replaced by Bluetooth and other technologies also. LTE is a 4G technology, which we have to use it, 4G or 5G. We have to use it for when we high bandwidth we want, which means we want to use cameras and stuff like that. But 90% of the other agricultural applications require only few bytes in seconds. So where I am looking at, personally, again, I would say LoRa is one of the best option I find for India. Next slide, please. Yesterday I told about this, but I'll insist. LoRa is something it can send data, a small, like a matchbox size. If you imagine a small matchbox size box, you can fit in any equipment, and it needs little power, of course, power required. So we say any battery, 12 volts, whatever, battery connected equipments or whatever you want, it can transmit data up to several kilometers. Okay, and so we require, theoretically, every village, one receiver system we require. From there, we have to connect to the internet domain. So imagine the advantage of this. I mean, the huge advantage when you go, the farmer can have 30, 40, 50 of such devices to connect, and he will have a low speed network working. And only thing is, we don't have standards. We have to make protocols also, so that many manufacturers of the small matchbox size devices can come into picture. They follow the particular protocol for particular sensor. For example, water level will come. We'll give it free service, and I think certain agencies can have, government agencies can have data coming from there collected. For example, water level. I want to put a borewell's water level. So those who are interested, those data can go to the other server also, because it's given us a free service. So I think only we are trying to take the information of the agriculture purpose. I think this is a good technology. Next slide, please. This again based on this. Next slide. I think I explained enough. So I will stick to still LoRa, and of course the other cellular is available already for us. Next one, please. What is protocol? This is today's topic. See, protocol is something how we try to communicate with each other. We fix a certain rules. This is how we have to communicate. We heard about protocols followed when the foreign dignitaries come. For example, they say this prime minister comes, this is a protocol to do. These are steps of rules we make to talk to each other. Next slide, please. Okay. This is a protocol we have to define for agriculture. Many protocols, I'm going to explain to you protocols existing for the sensors here, and similar protocols we have to do for communication, different stuff. So it is something like I call hi, and somebody to Indramani, he replies me hi, then I ask what is the time, and this is one of the examples I found out there. So this is the protocols, is example of the protocol. Next one, please. Now, this becomes difficult, okay? I will explain you this in an easy way to understand. This is from Lindbergh. For protocol, for example, every one of you has a name. Now, I say, for example, Professor Gajan Singh, and I say Indramani, I say Balachandra. So individual names, I call them first. Then I ask the question. I ask them, what is the time? Or how was your dinner? And what is planned for today? This is a question. Okay, then I give information also. I can add some information to that. For example, I would say, Dr. Indramani, please convey this to our common friend so and so. This thing we'll meet tomorrow. So we'll meet tomorrow is the message I'm giving you, data I'm giving you. Dr. Indramani is the name I give you. So every device has an identifier. Okay, that's what we call here. Every device, you will see this. First is synchronization, which means I'm going to talk to you. You must know it. I must dial you. You must dial. You must be listening. That is synchronization. Next, identification. That means I will tell you, because everybody will listen probably. But when I say Dr. Indramani, that's identification for you. Then I give what is the command I want from you. I give a command to you. Please tell me the time. Or please take your watch, set your watch. This is 5:30. Set your watch is a command I give you, and I also give you the time. Okay. And then finally, I try the message has gone to you clearly or not. Any error is there or not to find out. I'm trying to explain this clearly to you. You must understand, because this is how all the protocols work in the world. There's nothing else. So whatever you're going to make, you're going to follow this rule. So this is what I try to explain. I think many people I know, they don't understand protocols, especially agri-engineers are not used to this, because this is something to do with even computer science fellows will not understand, because today very difficult to find computer science people understanding protocols, and actually it's algorithms to design. Algorithms will come back to next level, probably not in this series. So, but I think protocol we must understand there is an identifier and there is a command and there is a data and there is a checking. So you have synchronization, identification, command, data, and then checking whether data is okay. Next slide, please. Now, Modbus protocol. Modbus is a protocol which is used on almost all layers, physical layers we till now learned. What do you mean by physical layer? That is what I told you, RS-232, RS-485, Wi-Fi. These are all medium, either wired or wireless. So they are called physical layers in terminology. That is a really hardware layers people will talk. They also have the same way. You give an address of the device, and give the command to the device, then the data. So this is called the Modbus protocol. They are used heavily in industry for a very long time. Anywhere you go, you will talk about Modbus. Modbus, for example, in agriculture, pH transmitters are available. Carbon dioxide sensors you will buy in Modbus only, most of them, because they don't give you, many companies give in Modbus the data communication. But they may specify Modbus in RS-485, they give you, or some other hardware layer they may tell you. That's not a problem. But how to manage the data will be using the Modbus. Like soil moisture sensors also given with Modbus. Yesterday, what we talked about, the MPS sensor before 2 days, they are different. They are with serial directly or with the SDI 12 protocol, and some of them available with the Modbus. Next slide, please. Next one is very important for us, is the CAN bus, Control Area Network bus. This also very similar. There are two types of CAN bus we have. One is the normal standard and one is the extended. When you come to agriculture sector, the ID, whatever I told you, the identification number, okay, that we call it the PGN, parameter group number. Parameter group number. It's a name is changed, but it meaning is same. The meaning is same. You have to need some identification. First, you have to synchronize. Then you need identification. Then you need to give the command. Then you have to you have to send the data. Receiving also similar. The command, the previous command, what replying, you are replying to which command you will give normally. But there is interesting thing will happen is if a lot of people are talking on the same wire, okay, like controller area network, same wire, everybody is communicating. There are 50 or 60 of sensors communicating in a car or in a tractor. So there is a collision required. So for example, I'll explain here. I think it's very important you understand the difference between master slave or the CAN bus, how it works. Because you can use CAN bus in many applications. It's not limited to only your vehicle. Okay, that's excellent application for agriculture. I find CAN bus excellent. When you make any equipment, you can use a CAN bus. So I want you to just think advantage of it. Very first is, suppose I have got identification number. instead of Dr. Indramani, I give a number to him. And I give Professor Gajan Singh also numbers to him. So now I also have a number. Now I start a communication. Everybody is silent. So I started telling my number. So same time, Dr. Indramani also telling the number. Okay. In the number, the first bit is 1 for me. And for Dr. Indramani also 1. Professor Gajan Singh is 0. First bit. There are many bits, 11 bits, 12 bits. First bit is 0. So what will happen when I talk 1 and Indramani talks 1, Gajan Singh says 0, we'll all get result 0 only because he overpowers us. See, he has got a priority to pass this message. So this is very interesting what they have thought about in priority. So I transmit 1 first and I listen back immediately 0. That means I know somebody priority guy is coming there now. So I should not talk anymore. Same way, Dr. Indramani also will decide, I will not talk anymore. So now Gajan Singh is there. Now let's say Vijay is coming. Second bit Vijay is 0. Professor Gajan Singh 1. Then Professor Gajan Singh will be silenced by Vijay. See, it continues like that, so that you have the priority also to come into picture in this. So the collision detection is done in this very simple way, that who are colliding, everybody detecting collision, and who is of less priority guy keep silent. Whereas when you compare the same thing with Ethernet, for example, they are different. When collision happens, for example, myself, I say hi, Indramani says hi. Then what happens? We find we are colluding. Then I will take a random number. Some random number seconds, I'll wait. Again, I will say, fortunately, Dr. Indramani also got the same random number. We again collide. Then what I will do, I will take a square of this random number second. That is one technique which is used in Ethernet and other techniques. Just roughly I'm explaining you to understand. But CAN bus is excellent priority wise. So whichever priority sensor will get the message through. So this is very important in when you run a system. Next slide, please. So the same slide, I think not much. Next one we go. What is the advantage? Yes. What is the advantage? Basic data what you get from J1939 protocol from tractors. That's why I insisting for several years that this must be standard feature. But the problem with the manufacturer is they have to give a lot of other sensor information if they claim they want to give J1939. So that is the basic problem. Today we have very less sensors in our current tractors what we produce. Last year we purchased or this year we purchased. We have absolutely nothing. I mean, really not much done in the tractor inside. Really, when I heard somebody, big people talking, we have the front PTO shops coming inside. I have used front PTO 40 years back in Germany. So it doesn't make any, actually inside electronics or technology we are not given. So let us see some of the parts, whether we are required or not agriculture, because tractors we are using only for transportation still. We are not using for automation much actually. The reason is, one of the reasons could be this, because this is existing for 20 years in other countries. Latitude, longitude, altitude, this is a GPS. Okay. If you have a GPS, you'll get vehicle speed you're getting. Okay. And engine coolant temperature, fuel temperature, oil temperature. You get a barometric pressure, ambient temperature, air inlet temperature. You have a engine trip fuel. How much for a particular trip you can define that for fuel consumed, total engine fuel, how much is there? This is one of the critical area probably why tractors, because they are not very efficient, our tractors till now, because we don't use still electronics in the engines and all ECUs. Right now it's coming up probably. And that is one of the reasons they're worried about fuel consumption levels to come outside. Torque, engine torque is very useful for us to find out, especially rotavators, whatever you use, engine torque, engine speed, the ignition on or not, and accelerator pedal position. So this is good for vehicles, especially when the guys pedals accelerator several times. Actually, we have done this, I told you, for a Brazil company have done it. For trucks to use it, they want to find out whether the guy is braking or not. What they want to know, very interesting, is whether the windshield wiper is moving or not. And that time he is pressing the accelerator or brake pedal or not. Because that shows he is driving rashly when it's raining. So these are all the you can get. Air boost pressure, driver ID, some of the systems which you have, and tachograph of vehicle speed. There are vehicle speed, many ways of finding it out. What is showing on the tachometer is one, actual travel speed one, and what is the battery voltage. Next slide, please. fuel rate, current fuel rate, how much ml or whatever it is pumped per minute, delivery pressure, engine oil pressure, coolant pressure, engine hours, engine revolution rated, engine speed, trip distance, total vehicle distance, washer fluid level, fuel level. DTC is a error code. Which sensor is having error? What is not working? That is a code. From there you can pull it out actually. If somebody sends a DTC code and you can ask for the details and you will take the next step. And imagine in a car, there are several controllers and there are several CAN buses running. And even in a tractor, they have 2 CAN buses or 3 CAN buses they use. One is for engine and related services. Next one is for implements which are coming in the backside. So I think we hope we will be able to understand this. See, I told you only till now, only 2 protocols, basically speaking. That's a Modbus and the CAN bus. So, and we have a lot of other protocols. Next slide, please. We'll come to computers now. Programming or computers. I'll go a bit differently here. So my idea is to understand this. IP protocol we know already. What is every computer has IP address. Every device can IP address. And he can communicate same way. The protocol is same, what I told you. Identification, everything. So identification number is your IP address. Your IP address is your identification number. Then there's a command string is there, data is there, exactly same is there in IP protocol also. There are different, when you set the data from your device or your controller to internet domain, to some remote computer where you can change or access whatever it is. The first protocol people will think is the TCP protocol. TCP protocols. What it does is, let's have another example of telling you what is TCP protocol is. For example, Dr. Indramani is a computer, I am the device. So I will tell first Dr. Syed here. So Dr. Indramani will note it down, Syed. So he will keep it on his paper, front door, Syed's number. He will give me identification number, 23, some number, temporary number. So the temporary number, I will write it down, 23. Then I'll give my command and data, he will take it. Okay. Now, because I have to contact Indramani. Indramani, I know he is having fixed line. I am somewhere roaming around on the road. So whenever I connect a connectivity, I will tell him I am so and so. I get a temporary number. So my IP address is not fixed. My IP address will not be fixed. Indramani's IP address is fixed. In that case, I can use this TCP IP. So what happens now? That Indramani has got a fixed IP. There are 1,000 tractors are sending to him data. 1,000 tractors. So each one IP will change. Dr. Indramani, he keep track every time connection breaks. He must take the connection again. And suppose 30 guys out of 1,000 tractors, 30 tractors connectivity suddenly drops, whatever reason may be. And Indramani should not be thinking it's still there on because he will not know about it. So this becomes a problem in TCP, which was used for tracking everything before. Then we come to another one, UDP, which means I will just loudly say, Dr. Indramani, this is my data. Whether he's listening or not, I will never come to know. If he listens properly, he may send me data when I cannot go directly because I don't have a particular address, fixed address to me. So he will not be able to trace me. Seldom use UDP, excepting for GPS functionality. Next one, we come to what we call, other protocols I'm not explaining because your email also one protocol, everything. Which is useful is a HTTP protocol. HTTPS, you must have heard for browsing, everything you're using. HTTP protocol is whatever you write a text and send it to him. So what happens in the HTTP protocol, when I explain Dr. Indramani, I don't have an IP, right? I am temporary, but I know the IP or URL, what they call URL. Dr. Indramani website. So I know the name, he has got a website. So I'm sending the data to his website with the same, my command, whatever it is. Indramani will pick up the data. And when he picks up the data, I will keep still listening to that for short fraction of time. Indramani can reply me for that particular moment. When I connect to Dr. Indramani, I send him information and he will give me back the information, then it's closed. So this way, whenever I make a connect, I can have a two-way communication, but he will not be able to call me. Anything happens, he will not be able to talk to me directly. He will not be able to trace me there. So there's a big problem here when we go for this type of it. When interactive comes, then the interactive, like I told you, TCP is better. I will have web server. Become too complex to manage it. So this is a scenario till now. It was there last 4 or 5 years back. So when I tried, I think 15 years back, 20 years, we are using tracking and all for the vehicles and everything. It's very complex actually to write a very good listener for managing things. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next one. Okay, in HTTP, what I told you, which I can make a connection once, I tell the information to him, and I get one information from him back. There are two methods we have, get and post method. You need not understand this detail. I'm not telling this. Just remember get and post. Okay. Get is something like you ask him to get. Post means you are giving him, you are pushing. So that's inserting. Post is inserting. Get means you ask him to give the data back. This is the one. I think most of the small applications get is okay, but they are similar to the programmer. But I would recommend you to make post because a lot of data can be posted there. Next slide, please. This is what helps us now in agriculture and everywhere is MQTT protocol. This is the Mosquitto protocol. What you call the name is Mosquitto, MQTT. This had problems several years back. Now, last 2 years, I'm using it also for other applications. They're very quite reliable now. They're open source again. What it does is I'll tell you. You can understand like a story. It's like a publisher and a subscriber. That is a concept. For example, I publish the temperature of engine, and Dr. Indramani publishes the speed of engine. Okay. Now, Professor Gajendra Singh subscribes to both these messages. So whatever I publish also, he subscribes to it. Dr. Indramani published also subscribes to it. Now, Dr. Indramani can also subscribe to my message, whatever I publish. But I don't want information from anybody. So I will not subscribe to anyone. So a publisher is there, subscriber. Same like newspaper, what you're talking. Times of India, a publisher, lot of subscribers are there. And you have Herald Tribune. They have different magazines. So message, when I publish, for example, Dr. Syed Ismail publish. So, and that message, which message I'm publishing important. I can publish hundreds of items with the names given. For example, temperature, pressure, I give flow. These three from Syed coming. So Syed publishes 3, this one, the value for the 3. And Dr. Indramani can select only pressure he wants or temperature he wants from Syed and the value he will get. And now imagine, all have, this MQTT is a broker. He's like a broker. He's sitting somewhere else in the domain, in your static IP. We can forget, we all use temporary, but they automatically try to manage the so-called the TCP IP protocol, and they keep you informed. But I have to define in how many minutes I will send the data to you. I publish every 1 minute. I publish every 10 seconds. So every publisher says within 1 minute, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, I'm going to give information. So somebody is watching, the broker is watching. If you don't publish, he takes you last will and testament from you. Okay, for example, this is very interesting. So you ask me, Syed, what is your last will and testament? So I will tell last will and testament from me is that somebody is servicing me. That is my last will and testament. Then I publish, for example, a temperature of engine. So and Dr. Indramani subscribes it. I'm telling every 30 seconds I'm sending this. So when I publish this temperature 30 seconds, okay. Once it becomes 35 seconds, what happens? The broker will send a message to him saying somebody is servicing Syed. That's my last will because I was alive. But if I don't put a last will, if it doesn't come, then automatically you don't know whether I'm under repair or I'm out of coverage or not. So I can change the last will and testament. But anyway, don't worry if you don't understand that. I think if you understand, publish and subscribe, it is good. This is one of the best protocols. Next slide, please. Now we come back to programming languages. There's another question people ask me. Like sometimes I saw people are learning Python. And Python, I wonder why the hell you learn Python? Oh, the machine learning is in Python. This is ignorance. Actually, we should not crazily running around of this without knowing this. Every language is same. Exactly. Anybody can challenge me. Anybody language is same structure, everything same. If you know one language thoroughly, another language to pick up is very short time you require. The only advantage of language, each one has a power, is the libraries they have. It is the libraries. For example, Python is very good in networking. One line you can do networking command. Python is interpreted language. Of course, you get also compiled version nowadays. For object-oriented, also Python is coming object-oriented. But you will not change that. Because, for example, your Word, MS Word, is written in normal C, not even C++. Your Railway Reservation Program of India is written in C. It's not in C++. They don't use Java for that. So, let's, for actual application, I would suggest, anyway, first learn C, basic C. That is enough for you. Then you learn Java, everything very, very fast. But you understand the concept of programming and learn. So I would suggest actually running after which language I will learn will come. No. A machine learning or artificial intelligence doesn't come because you learn language. No. You have to understand what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, what it does, concept. In artificial intelligence, you require multiple layers. The layers data you have to understand. So this is the knowledge what agriculture needs to give, not just only a language teaching. And one of the languages I would say for to learn easier after C is PHP, where you can easily to learn, and you can use a web server and send the data to and forth. What we require agriculture engineers for, especially for like this forum, what you're talking, for research you require, or for whatever the purpose, development, small development, you can use C and a PHP. Next slide, please. Okay, you want to learn what is the easiest method? You can download free Eclipse and with the PHP, and they come with a lamp. Like this may be the old one what I'm showing, but doesn't matter. I'll try to explain to you the concept only. So that is for Linux. If people can, a lot of questions whether which I will use a server, Linux or Microsoft, and nowadays different Microsoft, AWS. You see, all these big companies are now after agriculture sector, selling you big data, this, but tell me how many people benefit. So let us learn from something we learn basically ourselves, what is possible, I would suggest. Then look for experts to go when you have volume of expansion. Tomorrow you show me there are 1 million farmers are going to be really benefited from this technology. Yes, we will use it, but not one or two. So I would suggest first to starting people, Apache is LAMP is free, all are free. MySQL, of course, is Oracle has purchased, but then still it is free. PHP is one of the languages. Next slide, please. Now we have a mobile application. It's not a big deal. Anybody can do it. Anybody with a common sense, little bit of C program, he can do it. I think you should know C program. Spend the 2 weeks, 3 weeks for that. Then everything is open to you. The gates are open, and everything is available. So much data is available, or books are available on any language you want to learn. But think carefully. To learn a language is not difficult. Another language. You have to understand the syntax. You have to understand what is the library is for. Now, Android Studio is very good when you want to make mobile application in Android. And children make it. School children make it today. At 10th standard, 12th standard, you ask, everybody is making. Why not an agricultural engineer? Try it. Then you will know the features of it. And next one is for the iPhones. When you go iOS, it's a Xcode. This is called native application. In native application, when you create, full power you will use. That you use the local language. Suppose I go to Chennai and speak in Tamil, they may not like in Tamil maybe, but then they will love much more. But if I go to North India, I would speak in Hindi, they'll be very happy. You'll speak the local language of people. Next one is coming the hybrid applications, which actually you write in a language, you translate to both of them. They are not very effective, but good for normal purposes. So normal usage, they're good. Thank you. Next slide. I think with this small introduction, now I would propose something else, because we have covered what we have covered. I will try to tell you. We covered first what is electricity. We starting from small electricity voltage and learning, and then we came to basic electronics. We talked digital electronics. We talked about how to select a microcontroller, what are available. We talked about. Then we talked about what are the input and output systems available for the microcontroller: displays, keyboards, solenoids, whatever all we talked. We talked about sensors, the importance of sensors. Then we talked about networking and communication networking. Then we talked about what are the protocols are important for us, how to use it, probably how to go about computer knowledge starting. I just gave a hint because most of you have a computer knowledge. In schools, it's a must you need to learn one language nowadays. So now we come to actually what I'm interested in is only a gist. When I started this whole program, actually started to, because some of the professor also, some university in agriculture India, Dapoli, somebody, for example, and some IIT people were pushing me to teach how to get into electronics into agriculture engineers. When we started first, I never imagine it will come this way. We had a lot of response, but then this forum is not good for teaching in small details. So people who told me I go fast, you need details. I'm sorry, because I think this is the best to do for this type of audience, what we have, and we'll arrange later on. Now, I have another 5 minutes time to ask you a training effectiveness question and answers, okay? And I will explain before this question and answer what is I plan for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will discuss on applications. Now I see the whole thing of technology coming into 3 ways. One is advanced research, like AI, ML, big data, blockchain, all talks. I heard a lot of talks from everywhere, from south, north, and everywhere. But these are not going to help tomorrow the farmers. Okay, they are good, excellent research must be conducted. Okay, but short-term applied research, 2 years, what farmers will get benefit. Tomorrow we'll talk about some of the reasons farmers are having problem, not related to engineers. For a commodity trading, for example, for an FPO's problem, and we will come back to that later on, different topic. Agriculture engineer, what we can do, we all cannot go and work on AI and ML only. Okay, we have to look at short term where we want to improve the farmers. One is how they utilize the resources where we can save for them, how efficiently we can do, solving their problem like labor, or giving the cost less solutions. So that is a short-term solution. So I would prefer short-term solution approach we'll discuss tomorrow. In that, promoting the infrastructure development. For example, we had a person, a farmer, an agri-engineer who wanted to be a farmer. He told, I cannot find a PCBs for a polyhouse. Whereas every researcher I asked, oh, we have polyhouse running here. I myself practically searched last year. Somebody told me near somewhere Karnataka, 50 acres polyhouse. I told, I will fly down in time, give me that person's name. I could never get through. So the practical problems we'll see. Next slide, please. So I give some suggestions. Setu, next slide. Yes, I give, this is only my suggestions. You're free to add whatever you want. I just go through fast. These suggestions, what I have. So we can talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, edge computing, big data, blockchain, land preparation equipments, seeding, weeding, harvesting by machine robots. What are the applications you think? In technology required, I can share my experience and others can share their experience shortly, so that's something to start with. Weather stations and production, spraying by drones. What is there? Warehouse management, storage, refrigeration, logistics, climate control, electric fencing and production systems, drones for planning, insurance. This were whole different IoT nuggets. In this, only few will give you immediate benefit within 1 or 2 years to the farmers. We'll pick up that first, according to me, because that is what the government, everybody wants today. We have to increase the farmers' income. And see, farmers are hitting from many ways, starting from weather, starting from everywhere. So let us do, I think it is our domain, what we can do. Depth measurements of wells and canals will help them. Automatic irrigation, fertigation, hydroponics, aeroponics, vertical farming, polyhouse and greenhouse, agriculture census development, soil moisture measurement, Newton analysis, and actuators development. What we require companies to start with. This is important. I want to have and a team to say this is what we require, so people can work on it, and livestock management, everything. So this is some of the ideas. I think tomorrow we will go to this tomorrow. Previous slide, please. Tomorrow we'll discuss, and the training is also like actually the training. One of the big chapter I kept for applications to discuss. Instead of myself discussing all the applications, there are a lot of experienced people in this forum, and they can also share. So that is what tomorrow we'll be sharing with everybody So this is an idea to give you prepare, and you can send me email or you can come here also live. We can talk. That's no. Today I would like another 5 minutes. Dr. Indramani, or you can ask questions to me directly, and for only the electronic part what we talked till now for the 7 lectures. Whatever doubts you have, your suggestions, or I'm open. Please go ahead. Questions?
So I have,
Anybody? Yeah, please.
so I wanted to know about between HTTP and HTTPS. So if we are making a web page or something, then is there a choice that we can go for HTTP or HTTPS? Like, is there a choice?
Yeah, correct. It's good. HTTPS is a secured layer. Okay, I'll tell you example. For example, you have a web. Let's say Dr. Indramani has got a computer and one website to see. So what I say is, I am a company, a big company. I say I will give a encryption, a small number encryption line, whatever it is. That I will give to Indramani's computer. I'll put, and whoever want to access that also, I will send to them another one. So it is encrypted. So the encrypted, this one you're taking, and I guarantee, Dr. Indramani's computer, if you go, 100% nothing will happen. Okay, I'll give you $1 million as a what do you call? If something goes wrong, I'll pay. So HTTPS is run actually secured layer run by different companies. So you don't require normally for normal trial applications. Money is involved, good data is involved. Yes, you have to go and hire HTTPS. That's next question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see hand of Narendra Shah. Can you please ask question?
Yeah, Saeed, very briefly, nutshell, can you tell the audience and including me, what is blockchain technology and how farmers can benefit?
Okay. Blockchain is a distributed database. To tell you simple way, it's a distributed database, nothing else. Instead of keeping data with me only, I keep the next link to somebody else. And the same link, for example, next data link is with Dr. Indramani as well as Professor Gajan Singh. It's distributed to the people. So if one fellow goes away, no problem. I still have the data. Okay. And then one thing, Dr. Gajan Singh can be sure the link is somebody else also. So he cannot cheat and put something inside. Dr. Indramani cannot cheat and put inside. So it is actually a distributed database where the keys are with many people. So it's for security to see that 100% I know nobody can finger it without my knowledge. That is the only advantage. I don't think in agriculture is going to be a big game coming in. But remember, agriculture data is very important for a lot of people. Even weather data, because that is very important for all people. So we have to be. I think questions are not there. Dr. Indramani, you can take over and questions are.
No, sorry. So it's not something in the public domain, is it? When you say blockchain technology,
it is I think it is available. You have to pay big companies money, but it's not useful that much right now. I see. Like I told you, you cannot say tomorrow it's going to help 1 million farmers to get 1,000 rupees a month. It is not that. So let's first concentrate on that. A lot of articles you can read about. Next one, please.
Sir, I have some doubt.
Yes.
We are talking about, sir, artificial intelligence. So many times people are confusing about, suppose whether it is only hardware component, or suppose I am using artificial neural network or fuzzy logic like of software things, whether that will come under artificial intelligence or not.
Okay, artificial, see, there's nothing called artificial intelligence. It's called the expert systems. I remember long back, Gajan Singh, I think, from Germany, I went to Michigan, East Lansing, and I met one of the biggest guy who was in Professor Jade, who is still known, he's one of the best guy in expert systems. So artificial intelligence doesn't exist, as it is, you understand. It cannot do anything. You need different layers. For example, I must know the person is asking me a question where background, if I know, I can reply better. It's something like simple. I'm telling you, listen to Alexa or something music. Once you listen 1 or 2 music, it automatically plays for you because of your taste. Why? Data is already there. The guys who are listening these type of songs, somebody classified these type of songs or this. People like age group, all these things. So this all has to be done. So artificial intelligence, as it is now, you see, it will not come and kill your pest. It will not do anything. It will not do anything in agriculture right now. In 2 years, you cannot get results in artificial intelligence, anything to be done. Even in Western countries, they are not doing. Artificial intelligence is being tracked now in the human being to use first, like letter writing, typing, or talking, recognition of voice. This all will come slowly. But artificial intelligence requires a lot of data. Machine learning, whatever you ask, artificial intelligence, neural network is one of the oldest one we use. And I think it's the same. It's exactly, all are same. They are all coming to the same line. The only one is wording what we are using. Next question, please. We can ask tomorrow also the questions, because today we are running out. We have 2 more speakers. I would suggest Manoj for one person. I think we